Hello, everyone. It is the Regina Trappers who are home and cooled as far as the round-robin portion is continued, but they'll close it out in our game today. 3-0, they've guaranteed themselves a spot atop Pool B and a bye directly into Sunday's semifinals with that scintillating 8-inning, 6-4 dramatic win over Manitoba. One of the two best games for me of the tournament, and they're taking on Ontario 1, the winners of the elimination tournament, the Leaside Leafs. But Dan, this is a team you're very familiar with, and it has not gone so well for them here in Regina.
Yeah, they've had a little bit of a rough go here in Regina so far in this one, 0-3, but very talented team. Obviously, they got to this tournament for a reason, going up against some very strong clubs in Ontario. So they have one more kick at it today to try and get a win here in Regina. And they have right-hander Jacob Finlayson on the mound for them, who threw really well at the elimination. So we'll see what comes out of this, as he's going to be facing one of the top offenses in all of Canada.
He's just 20 years of age. He plays at Queen's University on top of what he does in the spring and summertime, and had a great 7-inning complete game effort against the Ajax Spartans at the Ontario eliminations in early August. He deals early with second baseman for the Trappers. He's been in the leadoff spot every game. This is Jordan DeZoto, the brother of the head coach, Nolan.
He's a pretty cool guy, I guess. He brought us both in here for this tournament.
I'm a huge fan, and I have been for months. His brother, so far in the event, 2 for 12 with a run batted in. A bit of a tough go last night against some great pitching from Manitoba. He was 0 for 5 in that game. Hit .273, did Jordan at last year's Canadians, where the Regina Trappers finished second. They've finished second in 2 consecutive Canadian Senior Men's Championships, hoping that the third time will be a charm at home. And Finlayson has a strikeout to begin the game.
Yeah, good start for the young right-hander here. We'll have a peek at that last pitch. Is a little slider that's deemed to be right at the top of the zone, and that's called strike 3. And Jordan DeZoto down for the first out here in this game.
Hard hitting Griffin Keller in his usual number 2 hole. We've seen him in left, we've seen him in right, and in this game, which really does not matter a whole lot. It's just to be as honest as I possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
But it matters significantly for Leaside. You would love to leave Regina with at least one win.
Absolutely. And I mean, you come here to compete, and they have played hard. Obviously in the wins and losses column, it hasn't shown up for them, but absolutely. You'd like to see them go home with a win and out of their time here in Regina.
Keller, unhappy with himself. That reaction would tell you that it matters a lot still to him, as the towering fly gobbled up by shortstop Mackenzie Mitchell for out number 2.
Yeah, good play there by Mac. He's able to get under this one, and seems like our friend the wind is back, as it looked like second baseman Nick Manakarakis was going to make that play, but enter the shortstop Mackenzie Mitchell, and he makes the catch, and that's the second out.
Jordy McDougall faced one pitch, and it hit him almost in the square of the back. He's the first base runner. We had just a borderline unbelievable game to start the day.
Wow.
Seesaw affair with one of the most interesting defensive plays you'll ever see in the game, as Nova Scotia kept their playoff hopes alive with a 7-6 win over Team Alberta. And they won it with a walk-off hit by pitch with the bases loaded.
Yeah, just a wild ending to that game there. There's a couple of walks and a hit batter, unfortunately, was the undoing there for Team Alberta in that game.
Nearly picked off McDougall. That was very, very close over at first. Good move by the youngster.
Yep, caught him leaning. Throw over right on the money, and that was close.
So McDougall not leaning now. He's just going. And the throw from catcher Ryan Ricci, even if that's right on the money, the type of jump that McDougall got, I think he was going to be safe. The batter is shortstop Dylan Edmonds. He's homered this week. The 24-year-old from Regina, 2 for 8. And pulls that, and it stayed fair. Much to Dylan's chagrin. That's a nice start for Jacob Finlayson and the Leaside Leafs. And we'll watch them at home plate when we return on day 3 of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship.
Hey, young fella, have a good game.
Dakota Fedek gets the ball for the 3-0 Regina Trappers, who know that they will play Sunday in one of 2 semifinal games, and they'll also know for sure that they'll play for a medal. But there's only one, Dan, they're interested in. That's the gold medal. Dakota's 33. Calls Regina home. Was 2-1, or at least 2 1/3 innings pitched at last year's Canadians. Gave up 6 runs on 9 hits, struck out 3, walked 2. All of that activity came in a 8-3 round-robin loss to the Dartmouth Dry, representing Nova Scotia, who are still alive.
Yep, they're alive right now. They're definitely going to be doing some scoreboard watching. We're also doing some scoreboard watching. There is another game going on at Optimus Park right now between Ontario 2, the Etobicoke Rangers, and Team Quebec. And little bit of a bump in the road there for Ontario 2 in the start of this one. They're just starting the top of the second right now with Team Quebec already holding a 5-0 lead in that game. So we'll keep tabs on that one for you, as well as it is going to have some direct implications in that pool to see who's going to finish where as we continue through the afternoon. We do know our 2 semifinalists already that are in. The host Regina Trappers, who are playing right now, will be on one side, while Team Saskatchewan will be the other semifinalist advancing directly through to Sunday.
Saskatchewan guaranteed itself top spot in their pool with a convincing win earlier today over Team BC. Mackenzie Mitchell rips a base hit to open the game into left field. His 3rd hit of this Canadian championship.
Yeah, Saskatchewan with that big win in their game, winning 11-2, so that assures them a spot now into Sunday and a chance at a medal. We see Mac Mitchell coming around first there with the ball going into the outfield.
And if you hear a yelp up here, it's because we've been stung by a wasp.
I think I got him.
That was what all the commotion was about. Color analyst and wasp killer, Dan Esty. Double play. That's a twin killing. See what I did there?
They made that look a lot easier than the killing I tried to do.
As Dan Goldberg grounds into the 4-6-3 double play, and quickly there are 2 outs for the Trappers in the bottom half of the inning. Catcher Ryan Ricci, who's 2 for 11, and he just avoids the Dakota Fedek fastball that tailed right past him, barely. Ryan is 2 hits. Both of those hits came in a loss to Team Manitoba, who has a big game coming up against Team Alberta. Bigger for Alberta than it is for Manitoba, potentially. I shouldn't say that because they could end up in a 3-way tie if Manitoba was to lose it. And then out come the calculators.
Absolutely. There's a whole plethora of scenarios that can take place over in that pool. So we're going to have to keep an eye on these last 2 games. The Etobicoke-Quebec game that's going on right now, both those teams sit at 1-2. This game here is Regina sitting at 3-0, lead side at 0-3. And the games this afternoon, we'll have a peek at those as we tee up the afternoon games. But definitely a lot of opportunities there for a bunch of different scenarios. And absolutely, Peter, we do have that opportunity for a 3-way tie, and then we start looking at some defensive run ratios.
And Fedek does hit Ryan Ricci this time after just missing him earlier in the at-bat. I would suggest one of the stories of the event going into today would have been the fact that the 2-time defending champions from Quebec were 1-2 entering that game. Here's the other thing I had a pretty good idea of. They wouldn't go quietly, and they're not going quietly. And if they ever find their way in, and with a win in that game, it sets up quite well for them to finish 3rd in that pool and play in a quarterfinal game this evening.
Absolutely, and it's a team that's very deep. They have lots of arms, and certainly if, given the opportunity to continue to play in this tournament, I think they could definitely make some noise going forward.
Batter is center fielder Joe Woods. And this is out of play indeed. Home plate umpire is Peter Perreault. Graham Greider from Alberta works at first. Sean Schaefer of BC is at 3rd in the game, and you'll hear from Mr. Perreault. You already have is the umpiring crew, the fabulous officials here to scout them and their work, have allowed us to mic up the home plate umpire the last couple of days, and it has provided some wonderful conversations. And for the most part, we haven't needed the beep button all that often. And this a tester for Jordan DeZodel, but camps under it as Joe Woods pops out to end the inning. We have 1 in the books. 0-3 Leaside against semifinal bound and 3-0 host Regina Trappers. So the Canadian senior men's at Curry Field on IKS. Philip Langlois, who had a big hit, a 2-run double last night in the come-from-behind victory that sealed their spot into tomorrow's semifinals and a first-place finish in Group B. The Trappers trailed 4-0 in that game before rallying to tie it and then ended up winning it on Brody Vogel's pinch hit 2-run homer in the 8th. And the bottom of the 8th was more than eventful, too. Cody Rock came in, gave up a couple of hits and a walk. Bases were loaded with nobody out. And he was able to work out of it as Mackenzie Mitchell will leave it for the left fielder, Dan Goldberg. And Goldberg fighting the wind that's died down a little, at least that's what the flags would indicate. But you never know, Dan, when the ball is way up there.
Absolutely, and as we've seen throughout the course of the week, that wind that doesn't seem like much can certainly turn into some wind in a hurry. So,
and we've had a lot of wind that does seem like much the last couple of days. Going to get a look at catcher Russ Nielsen for the first time in the event. They give the day off in this scenario to their starting catcher, Chris Unterreiner. Russell is a 38-year-old who hit .292 so far this year in the Qu'Appelle Valley League. At some point after the Canadian Championship, the Trappers with their regular group, without any additions, will take on the Regina Rockies in the best-of-5 final in that league.
Couple of teams that are very familiar with each other matching up again in the Qu'Appelle Valley finals, so be interesting to see how that series unfolds as well.
Finlayson, good movement on that pitch to record his second strikeout of the afternoon.
Finlayson showing some pretty good stuff here right now. That pitch just dives down and into the zone, and Russ Nielsen swings over the top of that for strike 3 in the second out here in the inning. But I think Finlayson showed at the eliminations he's able to hang around some pretty good teams, and only being a youngster, still a 22U player, obviously a lot of upside for him as well, and is just getting into his time here in senior ball.
Facing designated hitter Nolan Bracken, and without his hit late in the game, it doesn't reach extra innings. He tied it with a hit in the 6th, if memory serves.
Big single down the right field line that ended up bringing in a run.
2 for 6 overall in the competition. By far, for the 38-year-old, you know what his number 1 hit is. We just chatted about it. Trappers have a really nice scenario in terms of how they can go about their business in their lineup, both defensively and offensively, when it is a right-hander. Under normal situations, they have a couple of lefties like Bracken and Kendall Keller, and then they can use Arnold and Brody Vogel when it's a left-hander.
That's right. And it's good to have that flexibility on your bench, and more importantly, that you have the trust in all 4 of those guys to be able to go in any situations. And we've seen this weekend that, all those players have come up with something significant throughout the course of the tournament. So always a good problem for Nolan DeZoto to have as the manager.
Another really key player not in the game today for the Regina Trappers is their terrific center fielder, Cole Baumel, who had a couple of big hits last night against Manitoba. We've already seen one really good move to first from Finlayson. And I think Nolan Bracken, who just walked, was probably more aware of it after what almost happened to Jordy McDougall in the last inning.
Yeah, for sure. I got to stay on your toes over there at first with Finlayson. Very good move to first. And also a good pitcher at changing his timings on the mound as well, too, and doesn't get into too many patterns that are easy to pick up as he drops that curveball in for strike 2.
Tyler Arnold, the 27-year-old, 1 for 2 in the tournament. And that hit drove in a run in a 10-4 victory over Team Alberta, the Calgary Rockies, who have to pick themselves up after being so close to winning a game and guaranteeing themselves a playoff spot, only to lose 7-6 to Nova Scotia in the game prior to this one. And really, in many ways, probably the game of the entire tournament. That one and last night's game between the Trappers and Manitoba for me.
For sure.
The curveball.
Yeah, absolutely. Good looking curveball there from Finlayson, drops in, and Arnold down on strikes, and that retires the side.
His third strikeout. The Leaside Leafs would like to leave Regina with a win. They've yet to register one, but they're getting some quality early pitching from 20-year-old Jacob Finlayson. Dakota Fedek set to work his second inning of the competition. Dan, I would think for the Trappers, this would be a difficult game to play. It would be for me.
Yeah, yes and no with that. And I mean, we talked about the lineup before the game. We said, there's a couple people not in, and Chris Unterreiner, not a surprise for me that he's not in, as that throw gets airmailed over by the dugout. Tough play there as Jordan DeZoto kind of had to go backwards on that play. Big reach up there as Nick Menakarakis makes his way down to first. And, just a little bit of an off-balance throw there. And I don't know. He might be talking to his brother there after. He almost picked him off there with that throw. But.
They almost did. Almost hit the head coach. Nolan over there.
It's a quick way to get yourself out of the lineup. No, but in all seriousness, with these types of games, we talked about some of the players that are still in. We said you can't rest everyone, but there's certain players that I'm sure went up to Nolan DeZoto and said, "Hey, I want to get in. I want to get some swings. I want to stay sharp." And there's nothing wrong with that. And there might be some players, and like I said, to me, Chris Unterreiner not playing in this game makes sense to me because he's probably going to be your catcher in the medal round. Joel Baumel or Cole Baumel might have said he just wanted a day off just to, get rest of legs. He's been running around a lot out in the outfield. So, certain guys are going to ask for that kind of what I would call maintenance time, where others, they'd rather be in there swinging the bat and staying sharp.
For me, it's just about mentally how dialed in or not dialed in you would be, and it's just natural. It's not being the least bit critical. You finished first in your pool. You won an incredibly emotional game here last night in extra innings. It is what it is. It's not that they're not going to go out and give it their best.
Right.
You just know in sports there's situations that lend themselves in that direction.
Absolutely.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
And thank you for that.
Absolutely.
So Nick Menakarakis on his way towards second. On a full count pitch that ends up in a walk for third baseman Graham Henry.
Yeah, good AB there by Henry, able to foul a couple of tough pitches off and work his way down to first with a walk. And first real scoring opportunity here for Leaside as they now have runners at first and second base with nobody out. And the first baseman, Andrew Clifford, going to step in for his first at bat of the day.
Andrew, 29 years of age, calls Brampton home.
1-1.
2 for 3. The Canadians here in Regina, he went 2 for 2 in a game against Nova Scotia, an 8-2 setback in their most recent encounter. DeZodel,
Batter is
much easier chance, and the infield fly guaranteed the out anyhow. One away for the Leaside Leafs, who play in the OBA. Or at least representing the OBA.
Yeah, represent the OBA. They play out of the GTBL, the
That's
Greater
it.
Toronto Baseball League. There's 6 teams in that league.
high.
So they're members of that league during their regular season play, one of 4 leagues that are under the OBA hood for men's senior baseball.
What a run they had to make their way here.
Yeah, absolutely. They had a fantastic weekend of baseball.
Ball, no go.
They won that event in Windsor, first weekend in August.
Not like winning the event is tough enough, but then you go 6-1 at that event, which is even more impressive, and that's over a course of 4 days.
Big swing and a miss from the other Henry, Kevin, the right fielder.
1-2, fellas.
Dakota Fedek. And you know, anytime you get the ball for the first time,
He went.
a swing and it
That
hit
is
him,
out.
and he's
Time.
out. Well, we've seen some very unique
There you go,
things
sir.
today.
Oh, yeah, they all are.
That one just adds another
Give me
little
10,
layer.
call.
Almost a defensive swing, knowing it's coming right at him.
So yeah, that's a tough at bat there for Kevin Henry. As you can tell, probably about a third of the way through that swing, he wanted to stop and unfortunately couldn't. And the fastball from Dakota Fedek just kept tailing in on him, and fortunately he's down for the second out of the inning with the strikeout.
Marshall McDougall's first at bat of the tournament. Manakarakis gets the wave, the throw home.
He's safe.
He's safe. Fabulous throw home by Griffin Keller. It was
Time.
right on the money.
We'll have a look at this on the replay here. Solid line drive hit up the middle there. Griffin Keller charges in hard. Great throw from center field, right on the money, but looked like Nick Manakarakis' hand just underneath the tag of Russ Nielsen there. And he's in safely for the first run in this game, an early 1-0 lead for Team Ontario.
Marshall McDougall, the 33-year-old from London, 5 for 30 in the Greater Toronto Baseball League. It's a pretty nice entry into the Canadian Championship. Base hit and a run batted in, and it was well struck.
Ball
Nice
one.
block by Russell Nielsen in his first game of the tournament. The starting catcher. Mackenzie Mitchell, the shortstop, the batter. Runners at the corners with a run in for Leaside.
Stop, ball 2.
2 balls and no strikes to the 22-year-old.
Ball 3, it's up.
Mackenzie, a one-time player with the Ontario Blue Jays, which is a high-end program in the area that you and I both live in.
Yep, they've run some really good programs here over the last little while and have produced some pretty good players that have come out of those programs.
Ontario Blue Jays have produced some major leaguers, in fact. So bases loaded with the walk to Mackenzie Mitchell.
Up, ball one.
And a first ball fastball to left fielder Dan Goldberg. Is Fedek trying to find his form in the bottom of the second.
Hi.
And something is bothering him. I don't know if it's the signs.
Yeah, I think it's just with the runner on second base now. I think it's just looking at what they're going to do sequentially for signs just to make sure that the other team can't pick up what's going on.
All right. Hey. There we go. Hey.
Goldberg steps out. He's 34 years of age.
That was top. That was top.
Hit into a 4-6-3 double play, his first time in the game. Peter Perreault is a riot. I love listening to him. I might just take the mic off and leave it to him the rest of the game. I've done enough. Too much, in fact. Fedek dials up a little high heat. The Leaside Leafs are on the board, courtesy of a Marshall McDougall run-scoring single. They lead 1-0 after 2.
Hey guys, Donnie with Extreme Hockey and Umbrella Marketing Solutions. Really excited to throw this video that we have partnered with the National Baseball Championships that are hosted in Regina. As you know, we love getting behind our community and supporting these kind of events. This is just an absolute honor to be a part of this championship.
Stop in at 1425 McIntyre Street in Regina. We will have sales on all weekend. I will also be kicking around at the event for a few days, so if you have any questions about team, corporate gear, pull me aside and let's have a chat.
Back from the truck with a song to us. Back to you. Clark was humming a tune.
Oh, I heard him.
Our esteemed producer, who plays for the Regina Trappers.
Yes, he does.
Hey.
Pitcher extraordinaire.
When he's not dealing with a very unfortunate torn ACL. Kendall Keller, barehanded. Quality play, courtesy of third baseman Graham Henry.
Yeah, nice play there by Henry. Early square there by Kendall Keller. He gets the bunt down, as we're going to see here in the replay. Graham Henry charges hard, picks up the bare hand. Good strong throw to Clifford at first, and Kendall retired by about a step there for the first out of the inning.
You okay?
They've gone through the order, and the Regina Trappers do not have a hit yet off of 20-year-old Jacob Finlayson,
Ball one.
who misses with a fastball to Jordan DeZodel, who struck out to begin this game.
Hey.
Final day of the round robin, and a day that will feature 2 quarterfinal games in the 7 o'clock window. one here that will bring you from Curry Field, and then you'll be able on the stream to watch the other that'll be played at the same time at Optimus Park. And
Thank you, sir.
Finlayson is sailing along quite nicely.
That pitch, I'm not sure if that's, looks like a changeup again, because you can kind of see that kind of arm side tail that pitch has, and certainly has it working right now as he's collected a strikeout there against Jordan DeZodel, his 4th of the game so far.
Been impressive.
Ball one.
Griffin Keller in center field almost kept the game scoreless with his marvelous throw that just failed to get Nick Manakarakis at home plate. Keller felt that in the back as he trots down. Second batter that has been struck by Finlayson. That's basically been his only struggle so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like you said, Traps have had a few runners on here, but nothing that's really been squared up yet. So obviously he's doing something here to keep the Trappers off balance.
Ball.
Jordy McDougall was hit by a pitch
In and
back
out.
in the first.
You know it.
Griffin Keller
Oh, yeah.
leaning a
Sometimes
tad.
we may disagree. That's okay, too. Yeah. There's a good one. Hey!
Ball and a strike.
I don't know.
Jordy McDougall, who hit a big grand slam to put away a game on the road to this 3-0 first place finishing record in the win over Team Alberta, the Calgary Rockies, who will be playing for their tournament lives a little later.
Wow.
Diving effort at shortstop.
Oh, that's a beer and a burger.
Mackenzie Mitchell. Double down at the concession, according to our home plate umpire. To end the inning. Oh, we might as well have fun. 3-0 against 0-3, and the Leaside Leafs in front. They'll come to bat with a 1-0 lead in the third when we return to Curry Field in Regina. One nothing, the Leaside Leafs of the Greater Toronto Baseball League in front. Catcher Ryan Ricci leads things off. He was hit by a pitch in the bottom of the first. A Marshall McDougall RBI single in the bottom of the second. Delivered the only run as Nick Manakarakis came home. Is he good? He's good. He's number one. Never mind. He's the best. Well, he did provide run number one.
He did. Clark from the truck really enjoying Peter's Greek accent there.
Not more than the gentleman to my right, which is exactly why I delivered it, because I told him I would.
I already told Peter if I put my headset down, you know what happened.
Yeah, gone.
Oops.
Twice in the game, Ricci has been hit by Dakota Fedek. Not the way Dakota wanted to open up the bottom of the third inning.
No, Peter, that Hornet's going to get us at some point.
Yeah, I just don't even think about it. It's that time of year. They're out everywhere, and not just in Saskatchewan. They'd be in your backyard right now, too, and mine.
Yeah.
That's what the covered gazebo is for in the backyard. Joe Woods popped up to Jordan DeZodel at second base to end the first. Swing and a miss on a pitch that he shakes his head. He knows he swung at a ball.
Yeah, Wood's been one of the more predominant power hitters for Lee's side this year.
And he drills this on cue to the wall in the left field corner. They'll hold Ricci at third, and a no-out double for Joe Woods, who's had a great tournament. Far and away the best Lee side hitter. He is now 6 for 13.
And he had a great weekend in Windsor as well at the elimination, so just a bit of a continuation for him. They did play a few league games after that before coming to Regina, but like we just said before that, probably been one of the better hitters on this Lee side club this year.
And here is the second baseman, Nick Menakarakis. I'm going to guess there's a little Greek heritage there.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I can do it is because I have Greek heritage. Other than that, I probably shouldn't have.
That's a pitch that's produced a couple of swings like that from Dakota Fedek.
That tied Nick up in a knot.
Mm-hmm.
And the same one had him leaning and was able to somehow get out of the road.
I'll have a look at this one here again, but holds up his swing for sure, and that looked like it might have hurt.
Menakarakis scoring the only run. He reached on an error, and now he's trying to add to his team's advantage. He's had a good year in league play, batting .308 on the season. 3 doubles, 2 triples. Has a double here in Regina. That came against Team Alberta. Menakarakis up the middle. Again, DeZodel to handle. Good throw this time. Run scores. And Menakarakis has contributed again. An infield run-scoring single to make it 2-0.
Has been a couple of tough plays so far this game for Trapper's second baseman, Jordan DeZodel, as he makes his way back up the middle on that one. Takes it on the backhand, tries to make the strong throw to first, but unable to get Menakarakis in time. And Leaside pots another run here and now leads this game 2-0.
Almost 3 had it not been for the fine work of catcher Russell Nielsen.
Good block there by Russ as he's able to backhand that one and knock it down.
That Nielsen rating was a 10 out of 10. Could be 2. Fedek.
A little bit of a bobble there as he tried to get the ball out of his glove and throw to second base. Does get the lead runner at second. Runner at first will reach on a fielder's choice, and Joe Wood still standing at third. So runners at the corners now with 2 outs.
Boy, the little things make such a difference.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a play there where it might have been tough for Woods to get going straight back to the mound, so he does have to freeze for a second. But once that throw goes to second, he can probably take off. He's got enough speed there that I think he can probably at least try and score on that play.
Dakota Fedek still really in search of finding a rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't quite occurred for him. One out. Runners still at the corners with a run in here in the bottom of the third. There's the 0-3 Leaside Leafs. This will be their final game of the tournament. Regardless of the outcome, they will not make the playoffs. Clifford trying to influence our home plate umpire. I think that would take a lot.
Yeah.
We've got some activity in the bullpen for the Trappers.
Ethan Kleibeck, the right-hander from the Regina Rockies down there, getting loose.
And a rocket off the bat of Andrew Clifford's going to add to the lee side advantage. Kendall Keller, who's got a hose in right. Wood scores. And Graham Henry finds himself at third after Andrew Clifford's RBI single that gives Leaside a 3-0 lead. You know they'd like to go home with at least one win.
Mm-hmm. Certainly showing that right now with the way they're playing. They're certainly coming out swinging in this one. Good swing there by Andrew Clifford as he rips that ball down into right field past a diving Phil Langlois at first base. So Coach Nolan DeZodel going to make a trip to the mound here, have a chat with Fedek, as well as the catcher Russ Nielsen, as right-hander Ethan Kleibeck continues to get loose down in the Regina bullpen.
Hit to Kendall Keller in right. They're going to send the runner. Here comes the throw. Gets away from Nielsen. And it's 4-0. Here's Kevin Henry with a sacrifice fly that scores Graham from third, as in Graham Henry.
Good piece of hitting there by Kevin Henry. Gets the ball in the air, up the line deep enough, and a little bit of a miscue there by the pitcher Fedek as he's not behind there to back up that play. So Andrew Clifford makes his way to second base, sits there now, and as you said, Peter, we have a 4-0 Leaside lead here in the bottom of the third.
Marshall McDougall got the ball rolling offensively with his RBI single, back up the box in the second, and Leaside has added 3 more. Langlois.
Looked like that might have handcuffed him a little bit off the heel of his glove and just pops loose for a foul ball. So another life here for Marshall McDougall. We'll have a look at that one here on the replay. Looks like he has a beat on it, and yeah, just kind of hit off the heel and unable to make the catch there, and obviously upset with himself there. Thought he should have had that one.
The 32-year-old, originally from Quebec, Philippe Langlois. And we have a balk that moves Andrew Clifford over from second to third.
Have a peek on our monitor here and see what we get. Yeah, it didn't look like he come to a full pause there, according to the base umpire.
Does respond by striking out Marshall McDougall to end the third, but not before the Leaside Leafs add 3 more and lead the first place clinching in Pool B, Regina Trappers by 4. For nothing, the host Regina Trappers, and you, at least I did, had a sense that this would be a somewhat difficult game for them to play, coming off the emotional win last night in one of the games of the tournament where they beat Manitoba to clinch top spot in their pool and a direct berth into Sunday's semifinals. So they'll have the rest of the day off.
All right. Nobody's going for it, neither am I.
Well, it's an awfully busy one for other teams who, in a case or two, might play 3 today.
Yeah, it's a long day at the Yard for sure. The two teams playing 2 games today, Team Alberta as well as Team BC, that both have 2. And both are still in the mix to be able to play in the quarterfinals tonight. So, yeah, for sure, the 3 games in a day certainly makes for a long day, but I'm sure they would rather have that opportunity than going home.
Well, 1 and 2, Quebec, the 2-time defending champions, and a favorite, certainly one of them, when the tournament started. They're taking care of their own business. Big lead at Optimist right now over the Etobicoke Rangers, 8-1. And it would eliminate, I believe, Etobicoke from the tournament at 1 and 3, and would, because in that group, New Brunswick already has 2 wins, and Team Saskatchewan, with their win against BC earlier today, clinched top spot, finishing the round robin with a 3-1 record, and they beat the right groups.
Yeah, so the highest New Brunswick can finish with a win would be second place in that pool right now. And obviously, with a loss, could definitely find themselves into a bit of a hodgepodge of a tiebreaker there for sure.
Langlois hit it well, but foul. Phil flew out to Dan Goldberg in left. That was behind the batter.
Oops.
Jacob Finlayson has been very sharp. He has 5 strikeouts now after getting Dylan Edmonds, but he's hit 2 batters. So it's been a tad erratic from that standpoint, but also impressive. A strike on the outside part of the plate. As the tall, rangy first baseman dealing with a 1-2 count, and now it's 2-2.
Deuce.
Final game of the event for Leaside. And there's still plenty of excitement to come for the Regina Trappers, regardless of what occurs the rest of the way in this one, as make it 3 batters hit by Finlayson.
Time's on.
Yeah, that one just gets away from him, catches Langwa on the hip, and Phil will make his way down to first.
You pitched for a long time in senior baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Would you have any kind of explanation as to why Finlayson has either been terrific or has struggled at times with his control and hit 3 batters?
Sometimes it's just a feel on the pitch, right? Sometimes you get that feel right off the top of the game that you know things are going to go well with it, and then sometimes it's just it's as easy as explanation of saying the ball just slips out of your hand, right? You throw the ball and temperature changes and all that different things that happen. There's a whole bunch of things that can factor into that, and sometimes it's just your confidence with the pitch that, in this case, I think it's been a couple of fastballs that have hit batters, and it might be just that he's catcher Ryan Ricci's trying to get him to work in, and it's just going in too far. So definitely can be a whole slew of different things that could be happening there, but overall the young 20-year-old doing really well here, and
Ball. It died.
Russell Nielsen in his first game of the Canadians this year. Behind home plate, giving starting catcher Chris Unterreiner the day off, knowing that he's going to catch 2 games tomorrow. He's hoping it's a semifinal and a gold medal game. There is a bronze medal game in this event.
Ball. Down. 31, fellas.
3 balls and a strike to 38-year-old Russell Nielsen. Well hit, and it's going to fall in front of Joe Woods for a base hit. And Nielsen has his first of the Canadian Championships.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there by Russ Nielsen. Hands back, drives that one kind of to right center field. Good effort there by Joe Woods, but he, as you can see there from the replay, traps that one on the ground, gets it on a short hop. Tries to get the quick throw to second base to Manakarakis, but both runners safe, and the Traps with their first scoring opportunity here in this one, as they have runners at first and second with 1 out, and I believe that's the first hit of the game for the Trappers. I didn't want to put the curse on them. I kind of noticed that going throughout so far, but
it is indeed hit number 1 of the game off of Finlayson. Runners at first and second, 1 out for the designated hitter, left-handed batting Nolan Bracken. Tied the game against Manitoba in the 6th with a base hit into right field. Off of a changeup that hung up a little bit, and there weren't many that did, from Manitoba starter Scott Beaver, who, despite not being on the right end of the equation, I thought his work was excellent.
he was ultra impressive last night. First time I got to see him throw live.
Bracken on a line, but
I got 3 if he tags.
he did not tag after Kevin Henry made the catch. Well hit by Bracken, but well positioned
fancy.
was
Thank
the
you,
right
sir.
fielder.
Dirty snow cone.
I don't know, Peter. We might be out of a job soon.
That wouldn't be my first time.
Home plate umpire's doing a pretty good job of keeping everyone entertained here.
Yeah, I hope you're enjoying it at home as much as we are.
Nice pitch.
Tyler Arnold. And you don't have to guess as to what the pitch call is either, which I love. Langlois At second, Russell Nielsen, the base runner at first for Tyler Arnold. Down the line. That's going to score a run. A double for Tyler Arnold. And you can tell by the reaction, the Trappers are on the board.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there by Tyler Arnold. We'll go back and look at the replay there. Gets the barrel through down the third baseline fair. Brings one runner in. And the other runner ends up at third base. That would be Russ Nielsen. A little something going here for the Trappers now. They still trail in this game 4-1, but runners at second and third. And right fielder Kendall Keller steps in now.
Keller had a huge 2-run hit last night in the come-from-behind triumph over Manitoba. The 24-year-old. Bit of a check swing from him. He can run, and well dug up by Clifford over at first to end the inning.
I will have 4 when you return.
So just the 1 run as the Trappers are on the board, but trail Leaside by 3 on day 3 of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship. Four to 1. The Trappers are on the board. You know that they have one eye or maybe 2 eyes on tomorrow. They'll play in a semifinal game, and so will the other team from Saskatchewan, Team Saskatchewan. Finish first in their pool, Pool A, courtesy of their convincing win over Team British Columbia. The Victoria Mavericks make up the majority of that group. And it sounds like if Quebec continues to be in complete control, which they are now.
Yes, 9-1 as they play now, just starting the top of the 5th for Team Quebec over Team Ontario 2.
That it will be very difficult for British Columbia to make the playoffs even if they do win their remaining game, which we will bring to you. It's the next game here at 3 o'clock.
Good job by leadoff man Mac Mitchell here. He gets a pitch he can handle, lines that one to left center field, and he makes his way down to first with a leadoff single in the bottom of the 4th inning for Team Ontario.
He's on the run. Nielsen's throw, a pretty good one, but it won't get the 22-year-old Mackenzie Mitchell, who's having himself a nice afternoon. He's 2 for 2. He's walked, and now he's stolen a base.
A good jump there by Mack at first. Hits that single and not around there very long.
Dan Goldberg, the batter, as Dakota Fedek continues to work. I think that's still Clayback up warming, number 55, and it is for the Trappers, who have, regardless of today's outcome, have already guaranteed themselves top spot in Pool B and a semifinal berth. A basket catch by Russell Nielsen, not exactly how you would draw it up, as he has a bit of a sheepish grin on his way back to collect his mask in the bottom of the fourth with one out now.
So we'll keep you apprised of playoff seedings and stuff like that. We'll have a little bit of a better idea once these two games are on the books, what has to happen for the last two games at 3 o'clock. As Peter alluded to, we will have BC and New Brunswick that we're going to bring you here at Curry, and then Manitoba and Alberta will be taking place over at Optimus, and we'll kind of lay out what's going to happen with those.
That in its own way is, in a sense, the game of the 3 o'clock window, because it's somewhat simple in this regard.
Yes.
And another stolen base for Mackenzie Mitchell, meaning this, that if Manitoba wins the game, they finish second, and thanks to their 7-6 victory, talking about Team Nova Scotia over Team Alberta earlier today, they would grab, talking about Nova Scotia, the final spot.
Right.
If there is a win by Team Alberta, we're in another three-way 2-2 tie.
Right. Strike three called there on the catcher Ryan Ricci as he's caught looking on that pitch from Dakota Fedek. That's 2 outs now here in the bottom of the fourth inning. It's going to bring up the center fielder Joe Woods.
And a third strikeout by my count for Fedek. Joe Woods doubled in a 3-run bottom of the third for Leaside. The reason they're in front by that amount of runs, as the Trappers managed to get one back in the top of the inning. Mackenzie Mitchell, the runner at third, singled and stole 2 bases to arrive at where he is at now.
Good slider there from Fedek as that one finds the inside part of the plate for a strike. Evens the count now at 2-2 on Woods.
Got it back and was ready to go immediately and delivered it again. So some of his best work of the day, back-to-back strikeouts for Dakota. And it remains 4-1 for the Leaside Leafs, representing Ontario after 4 on the final day of the round robin. And yes, we'll even have a couple of quarterfinals for you before the day is out here in Regina. 4-1 is the score in favor of the Leaside Leafs, trying to end their tournament with a win. They came into the day at 0-3. They will not participate in the playoffs. It's the opposite record for their opponent, who clinched top spot in Pool B last night, and Nolan DeSoto passed Andrew Clifford. His first hit of the afternoon for the Trappers' second baseman.
Little bit of conviction in that swing for DeSoto there, as he's had a little bit of a rough one this afternoon with 2 strikeouts, but takes that first pitch and jumps all over it, ripping it into right field for a single and his first hit of the day.
Griffin Keller hit by a pitch, popped out to short.
Outside, ball 1.
Just have an inkling right about now with this guy that there might be some real solid contact on this at-bat.
Ball 2.
Jacob Finlayson has other ideas. He's given Leaside a very good start, just 20 years of age. And he's on a pitch count. Cannot throw more than 115.
So far for him, he's through 4 innings, allowed 1 run earned on 3 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. And this next pitch for him will be pitch number 65 on the afternoon.
Finlayson throws it as hard to first on his pickoff move as he does to home plate.
Ooh, that's
Broken bat. I knew there would be good contact. Not exactly what I had in mind, or Griffin.
Hi.
Sawed him off in 2 and still hit it a long way.
Yeah, it's weird how that bat broke. It almost looked like it split the barrel right in half, all the way down to the handle of the bat. Tough pitch there from Finlayson, and
There we go.
tell you, besides that, that ball went pretty far considering that the bat snapped in 2.
Exactly.
Would have hate to seen what happened if it stayed together.
Yeah, it would have been like 3/4 of the way up the hill behind the right field fence.
Hey. Yep. Ball 1.
Jordy McDougall, the batter, he was hit by a pitch and then lined out. Good play by Mackenzie Mitchell at shortstop to prevent him from adding to his hit total.
Ball! Ball! Right here, fellas.
Pretty sure that was a foul ball.
Yeah, I think so.
Don't know what my first 4 clues were.
1 ball. 2 strikes.
I've just so enjoyed it. I know I keep saying it, but it's because I really do.
Gives you a different insight into
It
the game when you're
does.
able to hear stuff down on the field like that, and it's good for the game.
And it's great banter, too, you know, between
Ball.
lots of catcher and umpire, batter and umpire. Even I have enjoyed, haven't made mention of this, just the communication on the rotation
Yeah.
when balls are hit in the 3 umpire system. That's been great to listen to.
Hey. Hey.
Freezes Jordy McDougall, and Finlayson adds to his strikeout total.
We'll get a look at that last pitch from Finlayson here.
Yeah.
Pitch that dives down down and in, and able to catch the inside part of the plate at the knees for a 3rd strike and a 2nd out here for the Regina Trappers in the top of the 5th.
And I believe strikeout number 6 for Jacob Finlayson.
Ball.
Dylan Edmonds had a big cut as he takes a look up after missing the pitch.
I threw that one underhand. Hopefully she doesn't get pissed off. Yeah, okay. Hey!
Well, I'm not mad.
Good pitch.
Dylan Edmonds might
Good
be
ball,
upset.
Parker.
He's walking around like, I am not happy today. After almost every swing.
Hey!
2 out, 2 strikes, a bouncer to Clifford. And that won't make Dylan any happier. It's all right, Dylan. The best time to get your best done will come tomorrow when your team plays in a semifinal game. Trailing 4-1 right now in their final game of the round robin. Bottom of the 5th, Dakota Fedek remains in the game for the Trappers. He's given up 4 runs. 3 of them came in the bottom of the 3rd as the Leaside Leafs, hoping to end the tournament on the right side of the ledger. 0-3 coming in, while their opponent has certainly some thoughts already, it would appear, about tomorrow. And who could blame them? Nick Menakourakis. I told you, he's a good. He has another hit. He's been on base 3 times. Scored a run. Driven one in.
He's having a day.
He is having a day.
Feeling the vibes from up here in the booth.
Knew it. Ball it.
The batter is third baseman Graham Henry. He's been on twice, too. Walked, reached on a fielder's choice, and scored one of the 3 runs. In the 3rd, bottom of the 5th, final round robin game for both these teams. As Klebeck works again in the hole. Tough play for Edmonds. This will make Dylan a little happier. That's wonderful work at shortstop.
Yeah, great play there from Dylan Edmonds, and we'll get a look at it here on the replay now, but ball hit on the ground, takes it on the back. Tough throw across the body there, and able to get it over to first in time to retire Graham Henry by about a step.
Andrew Clifford, the first baseman, he's driven in a run in the game.
Ball tough.
He is 100% hanging over the plate a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Ripped it. Base hit into right with the throwing arm of Keller. They're going to hold Menakourakis at third. And Andrew Clifford has his second hit of the afternoon. And that might be the end of the day for Dakota Fedek. It's Nolan DeZoto, the head coach. And the amount of work that he has done to help put this whole event together is extensive. There would be a few other adjectives.
Yeah. I watched your video when you'd put out your little spiel that you were coming here, and like you said, the words first class come to mind very quickly with what's been going on here this week, and this certainly has been a first class event run by just a great group of volunteers here in the city.
Kevin Henry, as it is not the final pitch, just a visit.
I believe we had a change last inning, Peter, because I'm starting to look around the outfield here. I think Griffin Keller's out of the game.
Yes, that is not him for sure.
Right field is now Tyler Arnold. He went from left to right. Kendall is now in center, and I believe it is Brody Vogel that's out and left now in the game for Griffin.
Kevin Henry with a base hit, and he adds to the Lee side advantage. It is a 5-1 lead. 3 hits in the inning,
Change.
and another run,
I think we're gonna go straight up here.
and a pitching change. Now upcoming.
All right, 44's day is over. Scratch him off the list. We got number 55 coming in.
So 55 coming in, as you hear from our home plate umpire, is Ethan Klebeck, the 24-year-old.
So we'll get a look at Dakota Fedak's work today on the mound. As you see a couple of highlights being put together here, some of the strikeouts he had. So
Excuse me.
gets a nice round of applause here from the crowd as he makes his way into the bench and into the game is, as you see on your screen, number 55, Ethan Klebeck.
Klebeck's 24. He's from Regina. Plays regularly for the rival Regina Rockies. Also pitched at last year's Canadians. Went 2 innings in Tecumseh with 3 runs given up on 4 hits in a game August 24th against Team Alberta, which last year was predominantly Sherwood Park A's.
2.
As Dakota Fedak's day comes to an end.
Well, we do have the break here. We do have an update from Optimus Park with the other game going on right now. They are playing in the bottom of the 5th inning. Team Ontario's made a little bit of a dent into the Team Quebec lead, but Quebec still leads that game by a score of 9-3 as they hit in the bottom of the 5th with 2 outs, and big bopper Raphael Gladue coming to the plate for Team Quebec. So we'll keep following that one as we're following this one here for you as well as we start to settle into or getting close to settling into our playoff seeds. We do know our 2 semifinal teams already that have advanced, the host team Regina Trappers as well as Team Saskatchewan. So we'll keep our eyes open for the other spots here as we continue.
This is crunched to the gap by Marshall McDougall, who's already driven in 1 today.
Up,
Might
up.
be 3. Throw home.
He's safe.
Not quite in time. Is diving in safely is Kevin Henry.
Time.
Marshall McDougall making his debut, I believe, today, Dan, in the tournament. And the way he's swinging it, maybe he should have been in the lineup a little earlier.
Yeah, he's had a great day at the plate for sure. Picks up his 2nd hit there, picks up 2 more RBIs, so 3 on the day now. As he now stands at 3rd after that 2-run triple, which extends the Lee side Leafs lead to 7-1.
And it gets away, and it'll be 8-1. Marshall McDougall. Dan Goldberg just looked at him and said, "That's unreal."
Absolutely.
Gets into the tournament. 2 for 3 with a double and 3 runs batted in, and now has just scored their 8th run on a wild pitch. Edmonds has to hurry.
Come on. Oh, boy.
Mackenzie Mitchell is a good baseball player.
Yeah, you know what? Everything is all hustle with him, and it's good to see another one of the younger kids that are on this Lee side team. But routine ground ball there, but certainly with his speed, didn't make it routine at all. And Dylan Edmonds had to be sharp on that one as he gets him by half a step at first.
He was flying down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's go.
Dan Goldberg didn't like the call. Change up that Goldberg was out in front of. And it didn't even make it all 60 feet to home. So Leaside has scored 4 more in their half of the 5th. Trappers knew coming into today they'd already clinched top spot in the pool and a semifinal berth tomorrow. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, these games are hard to play in when you're in that situation.
Absolutely, and I mean there's going to be some hiccups along the way for sure, and a few guys for the Trappers here getting into some games that weren't in before. So it's one of those things where you want to stay sharp for sure, and like you said, you have things tomorrow that you're looking forward to.
And it's not that you're not trying hard and that you don't want to win. You want to win every game you play in. It's just mentally you're just not at the level you would be in a different scenario.
Absolutely.
And that takes nothing away from Leaside.
Nope.
Full marks. They're up by 7 after 5. Pinch hitter and a really good hitter. Has had the day off for the 3-0 Regina Trappers on their way to the semifinals, regardless of what's going on today, where they trail the Leaside Leafs 8-1. This is 32-year-old Cole Baumel. Had a couple of big hits in last night's very crucial win over Manitoba, 6-4 in an extra inning, and on one pitch, he'll go right back to the dugout. He's pinch hitting for Philip Langlois. Kudos to Jacob Finlayson, the starter, the 20-year-old righty, who's given Leaside a whale of an effort to this point on the mound.
Yeah, I said coming in I didn't have the chance to see him pitch at the eliminations, and I had just heard the name from Coach Matt Naylor, but That ball lands in fair down the left field line, hits against the wall, and Russell Nielsen's going to make his way into second with a stand-up double.
Well, that's good. I'll just leave the rest to you. I can go now.
It was fluid, just nice.
Nielsen
level
with his
swing.
second hit of the day,
Compliment on that when he gets back.
playing in the game, giving Chris Unterreiner, to this point, the starting catcher, the day off. And the one thing in a situation, Dan, that this could provide, even for a guy like Russell Nielsen, swinging it pretty well today, who knows if you need somebody to come off the bench.
Absolutely, and that's something I'm sure that both Nolan Dezodel as well as Matt Miller are watching as this game unfolds, is that, you know, even though you're trailing 8-1 right now, you're still putting that effort in and can be in there in those tight situations when you're going to be needed.
Because for the Trappers, everything about today is not really about winning or losing. It's about getting yourself prepared for tomorrow. That's what this game is about.
Absolutely. You got 2 games to get a gold medal. And absolutely, you want to make sure that everyone's sharp and ready to go.
You want to get players in who you might need, who haven't been in, get them at bats. That's really what this is about.
100%.
Make sure that your pitching situation with kind of a game where not high leverage, you can set up your plan for 2 games, certainly for one, because that's the huge one, the semifinal to begin. So that to me is that's what it's been about.
That's important, and that's the kind of the, you know, if you say there's any sort of benefit, yes, you get a game off tonight, then you're not going to have to play a quarterfinal. But at the same time, especially in this situation where they know going into this game, absolutely, you can roll those guys off the bench. You can get them some swings. You can get them feeling good about themselves. And then, absolutely, that might be an option in a game tomorrow.
Tyler Arnold. He doubled in the game, his last at-bat. He's 1 for 2 on the day. This one, a mile in the air. Mackenzie Mitchell going back. Goldberg coming in, and it falls. And a run comes home.
We'll get a look at this one on the replay here, but Mackenzie Mitchell makes his way out, and that ball really carrying. And Dan Goldberg, I don't know if he lost it for a second or thought Mitchell was going to keep going, but kind of pulled up for a second, and that was just enough that it was fall just down in front of him, and that ends up being I guess what I would score a single in that case with an RBI for Tyler Arnold.
And if that is the scoring,
Should be caught.
it's his second hit of the day. A diving try by Mitchell. That falls in. And Kendall Keller sliding safely into second. So talk about 2 at-bats where balls find their way into very difficult spots for the opponent.
Yeah, those are both kind of really tough plays. That one ends up in between a triangle of Lee side Leaf players there. The effort there from Mac Mitchell as he tries to lay out and make that grab, it just comes up short on it. You know, the good on the Trappers here. They're showing a little bit of life now. Down 8-2, runners at second and third, 2 outs, and back to the top of the order now. Second baseman Jordan Dezodel coming to the plate now.
Jordan did deliver a hit his last time
Ball's outside.
at home plate. We've had so much great help in so many different ways to bring you these games. Just had a little more. Passed along a note that suggests that the Trappers would play in the 12:30 time slot tomorrow.
Yep.
So the second semifinal, which I would have expected. Which would leave Team Saskatchewan to play in the first game, the winner of Pool A.
Make a play. Make a play.
Manakarakis
There you go.
made the play. He's had a really good day.
He has.
One back for the Trappers in the 6th, but still trail
Thank you.
by the same number here at Curry Field. A run for the Trappers. They were hoping for maybe a couple more. Trailing the Leaside Leafs, who entered the final game with a record of 0-3, and they have acquitted themselves very, very nicely. And it's great to see.
Yeah, you know, like we said, a bit of a tough tournament for Leaside so far, but you know, nice to see them come out here swinging the bats and getting themselves on base here, and currently have an 8-2 lead as they head to the home half of the 6th inning.
In any tournament, season, scenario, you'd like to win your last game.
Absolutely.
And they're well on their way to doing that. 3 outs away from going home with a win, which is far better than returning home 0-for.
Yes, for sure.
You don't have to be Wolf Blitzer from the Situation Room to deliver that news.
No, not at all.
As Claybeck came into the game in the last inning, big number 55. Ethan, 24 years of age,
God darn it.
facing Ryan Ricci,
There you go, sir.
and he's going to shake out the left foot. He's got good padding there, but even with it there,
Yeah, they still sting. That's for sure. You might
They
have
do.
those. They might have those guards on, but certainly you
Ball.
pound a ball down into your foot or your ankle, and you're still going to feel it.
the 2-2 from Claybeck is strike 3. Swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts for
Thank you,
Ethan.
sir.
Brings to the plate center fielder Joe Woods. He's 27, and he's been overall Leaside's best hitter here. Jordy McDougall in time to get him on this occasion. Joe with a double in this game has 6 hits in the tournament.
Good play there by McDougall at third base. Gathers himself, makes a good strong throw over to Tyler Arnold. Seems to be moving around everywhere right now, and honestly, he's over at first base now. A few more defensive changes there for the Traps coming into this inning as Cole Baumel made his way to center field after hitting. Pushed Kendall Keller back over to left.
Ball one.
Tyler Arnold now playing at first base.
We've had some fun on and off the air talking about directions and needing a map. Tyler Arnold has almost needed a map today.
He's been trekking around the field, that's for sure.
Ball. No go.
Nick Manakarakis, one of the ringleaders in the game for the Leaside Leafs. Been on base all 3 times, has 2 hits. A run batted in. Will it be a 4th time? It will. Another really difficult chance for second baseman Jordan DeZoto, who, as he walks back towards the regular starting point, has that body language like, I've had enough of this day.
Yeah. And everyone has those days. I mean, not like, hasn't been anything bad happening here, but it seems everything that gets hit in his direction is either backhand up the middle, long run into the 3-4 hole between first and second. Anything. He's pretty much hasn't had a routine ground ball as of yet.
No. And upon second glance, even if that throw is perfect, I don't know if it's in time.
Yeah.
Like, that could have been scored a base hit.
Absolutely.
I think it probably, well, I shouldn't say should have, but could have.
Yeah.
And it was. That's quality scoring.
Absolutely.
Ball's up.
So, tough goal, but again, even if you throw a strike over there, you weren't going to get him. And Manakarakis continues his great day with a 3rd consecutive hit.
No. Ball 2.
So we get a 2-2 count here now on the batter, Graham Henry. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th.
8-2, Leaside Leafs of the Greater Toronto Baseball League. Tyler Arnold, be careful over there. Gave it his best shot. Now playing at first base. After occupying, as Dan just alluded to, a couple of different outfield positions earlier in the game.
Mm-hmm.
One.
That'll find a hole.
I got 3.
And with 2 out, back-to-back hits by Menakarakis and Graham Henry.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there by Henry. Keeps the hands back, sees that ball deep, punches it past the first baseman Tyler Arnold into right field for a single, and runners at first and second now for Team Ontario, with first baseman Andrew Clifford making his way to the dish.
And he swung it very well in the game.
Mm-hmm.
He has a couple of hits. He has an RBI, 2 for 3 in the game. And looks at ball outside from pitcher Ethan Klebeck.
Ball 3.
Make it ball 3. Well, one more round robin game to come at both ballparks.
Mm-hmm.
And they both have playoff meaning.
Absolutely.
We'll bring you 1 and 2, British Columbia against 2 and 1, New Brunswick. That's a Pool A game. And the other one's awfully important too. It's a Pool B game with 2 and 1 Manitoba.
Get away from me. Go, go, go. Get away from me. All right, here we go. We're good. Yep. He got one. All right. People, 2 strike.
That's the best commentary of this whole game by about 7 miles. Fully admit it. Get away from me. Well, I bet you he's a pile of fun at home when things aren't going well.
All right, fellas.
I'm not phoning Mama right now, I can tell you that. Oh, yeah? There she is. Is he a ball of fun at home?
Ah, yes.
That is unbelievable. The home plate umpire's wife is upstairs with
I was
us.
going to say, the story gets better.
Yeah, we have really had it all at this event. Wonder what Mama would think. Oh, I don't know. How about she's 4 steps from me? Oh, that is like you can't pay for this.
No. Although YKS may tell you differently, so don't hold us to that.
Oh, good point by you. I like it. I don't like it that much. Not true. 2 balls and a strike. Oh, that's incredible.
Only fun here in Regina
I've had a lot
this
of
year.
things.
Only fun.
On the air in 41 years of being behind a microphone, but that one is going to stick. And a highlight as it's popped in the air. Get away from me, says Ethan Klebeck.
And makes the catch.
I need a timeout.
Yeah. Yeah.
8-2. Here at Curry. Well, we are back. 8-2.
That's going to be a tough half inning to top, Peter, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, Peter Perreault provided the majority of the entertainment. Tried to chip in this Peter at the end.
Not 12-6, but I'll give it 12-4.
Brody Vogel has chipped in, the batter. He hit a pinch hit, 2-run, game-winning homer in the 8th inning to deliver the Trappers into the semifinals in a 6-4 come-from-behind victory. He homered in his other game yesterday as well against Team Alberta, the 26-year-old from Saskatoon.
All right.
Looks like everyone's okay after that one there. Looked like that might have caught a piece of Vogel and the catcher, Ryan Ricci.
And the homer in the 8th was a no-doubter, too.
Oof. I still remember getting that pitcher from the truck that landed on the 10-yard line of the field behind us.
Saskatchewan Roughriders in action later today on the topic of the 10-yard line. Trying to add to their West Division leading record, and it won't be easy against a very good Calgary Stampeder team.
Now that we have Team Saskatchewan in the semis, I'm sure there's going to be lots of Ryder Green here on Sunday.
Yeah, both Saskatchewan entries winning their pool here in Regina.
Incredible.
It is rather incredible. Maybe not on one account, but I would say it's quite stunning on the Team Saskatchewan account. They go 3-1. Big win earlier today as Vogel goes down looking. And lost in all the mayhem has been the work of, in some ways today, Jacob Finlayson. He's trying to finish off a complete game effort.
Ball, here we go. Thank you.
Yeah, pretty good line for Finlayson so far. 6 1/3 innings, 2 runs, both earned, 6 hits, 1 walk, and 7 punchouts.
Well, he had a great performance at the Ontario Elimination Tournament, which they won to earn a berth to Regina in a game against Ajax, a complete Game 7 inning performance for him there. And now he has this game as Jordy McDougall
That's
fouls
foul,
it
fellas.
down the line. I'm still shaking my head over what happened in the last half inning.
Yeah.
Just could have never imagined that Peter Perreault's wife would have been like right beside us.
Sometimes this stuff just writes itself,
It
Peter.
sure does. And I'll take it every time. I need the help. McDougall, a tester. And Graham Henry passes the test.
How can I show off my athletic abilities if you're in my way?
All right, I can't anymore.
Here, yeah. All right.
Well, Dan's out after that. Actually, he's out because he's going to interview a couple of Leaside Leafs at the end of the game, which we have brought you after every single game from right here at Curry Field. Well hit off the bat to end the game.
Hey, kid.
And the Leaside Leafs will leave Regina with
Bring the baseballs, Mr.
1 win, and that'll be a good feeling for their trip home. They end the competition with a record of 1-3. The Regina Trappers, who knew coming into today that they'd already captured first place in Pool B and a semifinal berth tomorrow at 12:30 Regina time.
Excuse me, boys. Thank you.
Certainly were not at their best, but did not have to be. We'll take a break after all the fun and be back with a little more of it. Dan will be on the field with a couple of interviews. Leaside with a win in the books. Back with more after this.
All right, we're down here on field level after an 8-2 win for Team Ontario over the Regina Trappers. Here with me, I have Marshall McDougall, as well as starting and winning pitcher Jacob Finlayson. Jacob, I'll start with you first. Pretty good outing today on the field. Seem to be doing a lot of mixing of speeds, mixing of locations. Just walk me through your preparation for this one and beating a pretty good Regina team.
We came out and saw them play against Dartmouth, and they were smashing fastballs, so we were just going off speeds until they showed they could hit it, and then we'd go back to the fastball.
Absolutely, and we had a pretty good view up there. You had 7 strikeouts today, again against some pretty good hitters there, so obviously a good job with that. Marsh, from your side of things, pretty good day at the plate, 2 for 3. A big triple
What's that?
Contributed to a couple of RBIs on your 3 on the day, so walk me through your preparation and kind of what your hitters were going through to try and be successful today.
I just think we're looking for something to hit. Big shout out to Mac. He was giving me some advice facing a new pitcher coming in. He was looking to get ahead, get established in the game, so I was looking for something straight on the plate and got something good to hit.
So we're going to wrap things up from down here on the field for this one here. Team Ontario ends up leaving Regina with the win as they finish at 1-3, an 8-2 victory over the Regina Trappers, who will find their way into the semifinals tomorrow here at Curry Field. Peter, back up to you in the booth.
Well, believe it or not, I'm having a lovely chat with the umpire's wife. So you've interrupted me, but I will continue. The Leafs do not be sorry at all. The Leafside Leafs win their final game. They'll end the tournament with an 8-2 triumph over the Regina Trappers, who now will really start to dial in on a semifinal on Sunday at the Canadian Championships. Who their opponent will be? Well, there's lots to be decided before now and 12:30 tomorrow. So long for now from Regina.